Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason.
And we have Who in the Torah YouTube channel.
And we thank you very much for joining us today on this fourth?
It is I don't know what day it is, but
Today's fourth day, I think.
It is the fourth day, and it is the 6th month. It is the 10th day of this month. It is the 4th day of the week, and we are cruising through this back in the days, back in when we were working and everything, on Wednesdays like this, we call this hump day, because once we got through the day, we were over the rest of the week, and we could cruise to the rest, and then we go shopping on Saturday. Everything was really super great. But yeah, that's not what we should be doing. How you guys doing?
Good.
Jade, you got up last night. You were up all night. How's your...
That wasn't all night. It was only from after midnight.
After midnight, but were you able to go back to bed?
Yeah, I think so. It was like an hour after I got up.
Are you doing all right?
I think so.
Is Nicole the only one that's grouchy today?
Maybe.
She sounds grouchy. If you don't see that, that's really grouchy. All right. What else? You guys have anything else going on here?
No, not really. Nothing too exciting. We're just still mending the cow's health back. We're still trying to get the cow back to life.
Yep, trying to get her back to life. Okay, so today's thing that we're going to be talking about, first of all, before we get into this, let's go over and let's quickly, this is very super quick. Mr. Thompson on my our other YouTube channel, JBoss008. Is it JBossman or JBoss?
JBossman.
JBossman008. This is what they say. Mr. Thompson says, we are either saved by grace or by the law. We can't have it both ways. I'm trusting Christ and his finished works, not my own. And that's it. And that was on I don't even know what video that was on. That was on one of the Paul videos. Anyone? He says we're either saved by grace or by the law. We can't have it both ways.
He's really trusting in nothing at this point. It's like he's holding onto a rope that doesn't exist.
What do you mean we can't have it both ways? What's he mean by that? So this is the default Christian thing.
So the Christians think the way he said it sounds like there's two ways to salvation, which is you can either keep the law and get your way into salvation, or you can just have grace and you're in salvation. That's the way he stated that. But what he's saying is he doesn't need to keep the law because he has Yahushua. Yahushua did away with the law. That's what his basic statement was. And that's not true, because Yahushua said, if you love me, keep my commands. And what were his commands? Well, he said his commands were his Father's commands. He does the will of his Father, and the will of his Father is the Torah.
Do you guys know what the definition of grace is?
I don't know.
Like undeserving something.
Undeserved, unearned kindness or favor is what grace is. And so... What do we have to say to this guy? I mean,
he doesn't understand that to show your faith, he thinks his faith at work. He doesn't understand to show your faith, you would be obedient and show that you're loyal. You're showing a loyalty. But he thinks that he can just do nothing and be loyal. That doesn't show loyalty by doing nothing.
James is part of the New Testament, so should we be keeping the what James says? What does James say?
James says he will show his faith by his works.
Yeah.
He says, show me your faith without works, I'll show you my faith by my works.
And by showing your faith, it's like an example, you have two armies, you have a red army and you have a blue army. And if you're with the blue army but where the red army's closed, you look like you're part of the red army. And if you say you're of Yahushua, but you're living like the world, you're of Hasatan.
Yeah, you can't have, and he's right at one point. You can't have it both ways. You can't live in this.
You can't have just one alone. You have to have both.
Right. All right. So as we get into this, guys, there's a couple things I want to. This is going to be a complex chapter. It's only complex because there's one verse that's really complex in this, and we've gone over this before. We actually figured this out a long time ago, but it had been so long ago when I ran into this, when I was reading this yesterday, I had some struggles. So let's begin, and let's put on our Berean hats, and let's see what the word of Yah says. And I want to remind everyone what Deuteronomy 4:2 says. Deuteronomy 4:2 says, do not add to or take away from the Torah. And this is what we're reading right here is the Torah. So even in this Torah, if something is unknown, if it doesn't make sense, we can't say that Yah is changing unless he gave us an explicit commandment and then changed all his ways and we heard something about it. You can't take one thing out of a scripture and you can't make doctrine out of it if it doesn't jive with the rest of the Torah. So let's see if we can figure this out today. All right, Deuteronomy 12. These are the commandments and judgments which ye shall guard to do in the land which Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers gives you to possess it all the days that ye live upon the earth. Okay, so is this a commandment right here?
No, he's basically saying this is the law. He didn't say do anything here. He just said this is the law.
He says here are the commandments and the judgments, and that you shall guard to do them in the land, which Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers gives you possess. So nobody thinks there's any commandments here?
He just said this is what you could do. Maybe we put it under another supporting verse for guard my laws or something like that.
Okay, what do we make of this thing where it says, and I've gone over this before, but it says it's in the land that when you go over to the land, guard to do in the land. What does that mean? How do we guard what's in the land? We're not in the land.
Right, so we can basically people, when they went into exile, they came back into the Torah and they were not in the land.
They're not in Yah's land, but are we in the land? Are we in a land?
We're in a land, and we are the scattered Israelites, and by that default, we should be keeping the Torah.
Because we're not in the land of Yashrael from back in the day, do we not keep the Torah, Eli?
That's like a bad
No, we keep the Torah.
That's
Why?
like a bad excuse. You go to somewhere that there's like no rules, and you go kill people, right? You still have rules. You can still have morals, and you need to live by them. You can't just go do things because there's no set rules on something else.
Yeah.
If you have a land that says you can kill a bunch of people, but you know it's morally wrong, you shouldn't be killing people.
Right, absolutely. Okay, good point. All right, 2.
So are we putting that in the list?
Let's just add that to the guard.
Okay.
Guard, because it should. It's these are the commandments and judgment. He's like, you need to guard the commandments and judgments. He's reiterating it, sounds like to me. 2. You shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their Elohim upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree. Okay, this is 2 and 3 go together. And ye shall overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their Asheroth poles with fire. And ye shall hew down graven images of their Elohim, and destroy names of them out of that place.
You know, if we did that for America, the entire America would be on fire.
Yes, but we also have a commandment to kill the witches. So if we have a commandment to kill the witches and to starve by it because we can't go kill all the witches today because there's too many of them, we'd literally be killing all of Washington, D.C. It would be
Like the entire United States would go a place. There's just idols and there's a
a good half of three-quarters of the United States would be gone.
I'm pretty sure there's a statue of something or someone in every single city.
Yeah, and so if we were a holy people, what would we be doing? He told us we
We'd
need
be
to
ripping these down.
Yeah.
We'd be burning them up.
burn the people and burn the statues, and so this goes under command. Do we have this command somewhere?
I think we already had destroy the idols, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think we already had one that said destroy the idols.
Do we? This says destroy, because this is what we need to add these 2 and 3 need to go to the next
I think
thing.
it says maybe it's no graven images, but I don't know.
But I mean, this is a commandment, and it needs to be a star. I mean, this is an important commandment right here, right? Just because we are not in the land, we need to have this at the top of our mind. That every time you go to the park and you see a giant statue of Leonard P. Mason or something of the sort, and all the kids are playing around the statue, that's an idol, right? Those are graven images. Those are things that we are not supposed to make at all. And so this would be this to me would be a commandment. Anyone else out there have anything?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
a command as well.
Yeah, I think it would just like
It needs to have an asterisk, right? Because
Right.
we can't go do what we would wish we
rip
could
down
do.
people's statues.
Yeah.
'Cause if you end up doing it, you're gonna end up like charged of property damage or like.
We'd start off with the Statue of Liberty, right? The Statue of Isis. That is actually Isis, and that actually is a male for anyone who did not know that. If you look at the face, that came from France. It was a Freemason hoax and gimmick. It is not Lady Liberty, it's Dude Liberty. And
It's not even Liberty,
it's
it's
Istar.
Isis.
Yeah, it's Isis. Look at the crowns. This is Istar. So if you're looking at like the biggest graven image of all things, that would probably be United States or somewhere in Washington, D.C. They have like giant monuments that are 66.6 feet high, 666 feet high. I mean, it all goes to everything with their numbers and things of that nature. All right, so are we good?
So I have either no sacrifices to other gods
Okay.
or make no covenant with other Elohim.
I think we
outside
didn't
of
hold the
land.
commandment then. We are to
But
destroy.
we have a lot of like sub commands under those that say destroy their altars.
Okay.
So maybe I need to put those under.
Maybe add this one as destroy all this, and then add those under this, and then this under those.
Yep, got it.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Wow, that was confusing. I'm
That's confusing. That's why your mom is an amazing. She's dialed in. Yah has dialed this forum, this tribe in right here, so that we can do this for a time such as this. All right, 4. But again, he could also raise prophets out of the rock. So we are not needed. We are just here because we are voluntarily doing this. And Yah doesn't owe us anything. So he can figure out anything and he can get his message wherever he wants. 4, ye shall not do so unto Yahuwah Elohim, but unto the place which Yahuwah Elohim shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither you shall come. Is there any commandments on this?
I would say don't like destroy, don't break down Yahoo or something like that.
What does that mean? What does it say? It says, but unto the place which Yahuwah Elohim shall choose out of all your
Okay, you gotta
tribes.
go back to verse 4 because my verse 4 continues on to verse 5.
Right.
I think verse 3 continues on. So
Okay.
it talks about how to destroy the pillars, and it goes, do not do so to Yahuwah your Elohim. Like, don't cut down Yahuwah.
Don't cut down his pillars or something. Don't cut down his temple.
I think it's more like don't forget Yahuwah.
You must not worship the Lord your God in this way. Is what 4 says. Eli, thanks for the help. Are you not reading the top thing?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So NIV, this is what it says. The NIV says you must not worship the Lord your God in this way. So that makes all the sense in the world, right?
So don't make stuff for him.
Yeah, don't make Asherah poles. Don't make graven images and call it Yah.
There's a lot of people that Sunday worship. That's a pagan tradition. That's how people think they're worshiping Yah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They bow down to the cross.
They're breaking that and they don't even know.
They have an altar call every Sunday. Then everybody comes down. Everybody has some problems.
They
bow to the cross.
Come and get saved.
A lot of churches, and they may be against Catholicism or whatever, a lot of churches have the exact same practices where they go all sit in the altar for the day and they all go up to it and stuff, and that's how it goes, and it's a pagan tradition.
You're on your knees. You're on your knees to other Elohim. It doesn't
Everything
matter.
from the interior to exterior is pagan. It is built from a pagan origin, and whether you like it or not, it is not a holy thing to be in a church like that. It is a church of Satan.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no Yah in a 501c3 Sunday worshiping
So
church.
do I put that as...
Yeah, don't worship Yahuwah like the pagans.
Yeah, don't worship Yahuwah like the pagans. But you shall place which Yahuwah Elohim shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there. Is that the Levium? Is that what we're talking about in 5?
I think so.
But you are to seek the place the Lord your Yah will choose from among all your tribes to put his name there for his dwelling, right? So it's his choice.
His dwelling is where he'd sit over the ark.
His choice, not ours, right?
He'd sit over the ark, so he'd be like, okay, I want the ark here, or like whatever, like his.
But at the same time, people have made altars like Adam, Abram, Yitzhak, all those guys. They made altars, and Yah dwelt with them there, right?
Right.
Yeah, because I think back then they were their own Levites. They could do their own sacrifices. There was no regulations against it. There was no need for it, and they knew the recipes, they knew the secrets, they knew how to do sacrifices correctly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a pagan thing. It wasn't like a dishonorable thing.
Okay, so is that one a new one then? Nicole?
Yeah, 4 and 5 should
Go together.
5 should be.
And 6, and thither you shall bring your sin and smoke offering.
No,
So it's we can't do that. But if we had a place, this is what it's talking about. 4, 5, and 6 is if don't celebrate where you think you should celebrate. Celebrate where Yah wants you to celebrate, and that is where you bring your sin and smoke offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, and your heave offerings, right, to His temple,
Right.
Not ours. All right. So just to clarify, Nicole, what do you got?
4 and 5,
4 and 5. Okay.
right?
Yes, that is where we would sacrifice, right? If somebody ever thought, hey, you should sacrifice here, it says don't do it. Sacrifice where Yah wants us to sacrifice. Okay, we're done with 6. All right, let's go to 7. Did we do that?
Read 6.
I think I did 6, didn't I?
No, I don't think you did.
All right, and thither ye shall bring your sending smoke offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and your heave offerings of your land, and your vows, and your freewill offerings, and the firstlings of your herd, and of your flocks. It's saying in that temple of Yah that Yah has built, that is picked. And there ye shall eat before Yahuwah Elohim, and ye shall enjoy in all that ye put your hand unto, ye and your households, wherein Yahuwah Elohim has blessed you. Now, what is this saying right here?
Basically, you eat and you rejoice before the.
This is all going together, right? So he's saying, come to a temple that Yah has put his hand upon. There you will bring all your smoke offerings, and then there you will eat before Yahuwah, right? So this is not a separate thing, right? This is not saying eat before Yahuwah, but I think we should rejoice, right? I mean, it almost sounds like a command. Anyone with me?
You should eat.
I don't know because we can't eat the sacrifices before Yahuwah.
No, but I mean, it does say, and you shall eat before Yahuwah, and I think that is what they're talking about right there. But I mean, should we be rejoicing before we eat?
Yeah, we should definitely be praying. We should be
Why is
thanking
that
Him
so
for it
slow?
because
Why did it take you guys so long to answer that?
Well,
I was reading the verse.
Oh, okay. Eli's out, zombified out. Jade's on the edge.
No, I'm good.
Nobody's seen Care Bears arm wrestle on the cloud going by yet?
Not yet.
Your mom almost did. She's getting real tired. Okay.
Yeah, we should absolutely be giving thanks, rejoicing for the food we have because Yahuwah gave it to us. It should be a thankful thing. I mean, you're going to thank the person that gave you food unless you're ungrateful.
You need to be thankful for the food. You need to be thankful for the taste buds. You need to be thankful for a pie hole that you're able to stuff it down. You should be thankful for your entire system that is able to take whatever it is you eat, process it, bring it out the other side, right? Everything that is us is incredible. Everything that Yah has built is absolutely incredible, and absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, before you eat, gentlemen, you need to be thankful. You need to rejoice. And I know we all do, but I'm still curious about the long delays and,
I think that it's talking about the offerings, though, and the sacrifices from 6 because it has a colon at the end of 6.
Yes, that's why I agree. This is not a new command.
No.
But I'm talking to these guys and I'm saying, should we rejoice when we eat?
I would say yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. That should be a no-brainer right there, right? Okay. That it's not a commandment to there, but it goes off with 6, and we can't do that because we can't go to a temple, we can't sacrifice, we can't do any of that stuff. But it says, and there ye shall eat before YHWH Elohim. It says there you shall eat, right? So do we need to have a command like rejoice before we eat? Do we anything of the sort, or are we adding 2 here?
That's kind of what I was wondering, if we were adding 2 because it's talking about the sacrifice.
It is talking about sacrifice, without a shadow of a doubt. It has a colon. It's going to the next thing.
But it does say, and you shall rejoice in all that ye put your hand unto, and your households wherein.
YHWH Elohim has blessed you. I mean, you could say, hey, I'm not blessed by YHWH. Well, you're still alive. You're still breathing. You're not dead, right? So that means YHWH has blessed you. So I think this would be a command. Even though it has to do with the temple. Maybe we put a 2 asterisks here and say this was meaning that we're supposed to rejoice when he was talking about this specific part. But if we do not rejoice, look, Yah he doesn't owe us anything, right? If we don't have food to eat, that's not Yah's deal. That's us. If he gives it to us, that is a blessing by Yah. And I don't know. Anyone? Eli? You got cold, son?
No.
Okay, what do you got?
So I think we need to read verse 8.
All right, let's go to verse 8. Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes.
So they were kind of like ungoverned at this point. I think they were like, they still had like some governing, but they each brought their own sacrifice. They did what they thought they could bring in.
It says right there. It says if you think what is right in your own eyes, you shall not do.
Don't do it.
Yeah, and that's the heart of man is extremely wicked, and we do evil things.
And there are a lot of things that seem good in our eyes, but when you look back on it, it was probably a really bad thing to do.
Yeah, saving all those kids. We used to go to church camp, right? My mom was there. She was like a kind of a leader thing in this. Dude, we saved all these kids. By the time church camp was done, we'd saved hundreds of kids. I don't know how many kids we sent to hell. It's incredible. Those are things we shouldn't do, right? That was right in my own eyes, I thought. But I was born into the cold. Okay, what do we have? Is anyone with me here?
So So we should definitely be rejoicing, but I don't think it's a command because it's talking about like YHWH blessing you for the sacrifices and stuff.
Yeah, but it says, you shall rejoice in all that ye put your hand unto, ye and your households, wherein Yah. So we put our hand into everything, right? It's not just, we put our hand into the farm. We put our hand into life on the cow. There's a lot of stuff we put our hand into, and we're supposed to rejoice in all of this, right?
Right. So I guess.
Am I overlooking this? Can I get any other opinions? Jake,
No, I think we should definitely rejoice for all this stuff. I don't know.
But is it a commandment? Are we going off the track?
We should probably add. Because we have our sacrifices with Yehoshua, and so basically, if we ask for
that is very true. That is very true.
So
right?
basically,
I think we should just put. I think it should be a command. It's like rejoice in what you do. Rejoice in what YHWH has blessed you. Something of that degree, because he did say you shall rejoice, but I don't know if it's a future thing like and you will rejoice and you will be happy, or
we should be that's the thing about us getting all grim and glum and bad attitudes and stuff like that around here is we are not rejoicing in everything that YHWH has done. We get into our own state of bad moods and we'll alter the day, and we need to remember that we have to rejoice to Yah, right? Our bad days are not because Yah has given us a bad day. It is because Hasatan and the evil forces and, it's just the environment, right? We can have bad days simply by living on a farm in this kind of a jungle environment. It's just the way it is. So, Nicole, what do you got?
I think it is. I think it's like rejoice in all that he's blessed you with.
Anyone else? Can I get a second on that?
I think that's right. I think she's right.
All right, let's do that. Let's add that in there. And if it's wrong that we rejoice before Yah and add that as a command, I don't know. I still feel like we should be rejoicing with everything we do, in sickness and in health, in injury and in pain, in suffering, in all of that, especially in pain and suffering. We should be rejoicing in Yah because we have that life that we can even experience pain and suffering, which is amazing. Okay, so whatever, and it says, whatsoever is right in his own eyes. What do you have on that? You shall not do after all these things that we do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. Okay, so what do you mean?
So
it says,
I think it's like, don't do this, and then verse 9 says, on the land, but I think it's like, like these sacrifices and like this like eating before this. I don't think people should just before they got in
There's
land.
a period there. I mean, don't do what is right in your own eyes. Is that the command? You shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. What do you mean? What does it mean this day?
I think everyone was doing what was right in their own eyes. They were bringing their own sacrifices. They were bringing sacrifices when they thought they sinned. Instead of actually when they sinned, they were just bringing sacrifices. I think is what he's trying to say here, because they really didn't have like a quite idea of what they were like all doing. Because everyone's kind of new to this whole thing. Because this is a new generation.
It seems like a good command, right? If you guys were commanded one thing, don't do what is right in your own eyes.
Right, like if you see something like happening and you jump in the middle of it and you make it worse, you need to really assess the situation first. And
You need to base it upon Torah. What would Yah do, right? Every man whatsoever is right. So is that a commandment, Nicole? 8?
Probably. My Amplified says, "You shall not do according to all we do in here in the camp this day."
We
Every
should not.
man,
So what are they doing? Were they
you
doing being
shall
evil?
not do according to all we do here in the camp this day. Every
So-
man doing whatever looks right in his own eyes.
Okay, so I think that's a command. Don't do Don't do what you think is right in your own eyes. It needs to be based upon the Torah. All right, 9. For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahuwah Elohim gives you. But when ye go over to the Yarden and dwell in the land which Yahuwah Elohim gives you to inherit, and when he gives you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety, then there shall be a place which Yahuwah Elohim shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Thither shall ye bring all that I command you, your sinning smoke offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, your heave offering of your hand, and all your choice vows which ye vow unto Yahuwah. And ye shall rejoice before Yahuwah Elohim, ye and your sons and your daughters and your menservants and your maidservants and your Levi that is within your gates, for as much he has no part nor inheritance with you.
I feel like Moses kind of threw that one in, like, don't forget the Levite, don't forget him.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, Levites didn't have anything, and he was like, hey, these people need houses too, don't forget the Levites.
Here's another one too, 13. Guard yourself that you offer not your ascending smoke offerings in every place that you see, but in the place which Yahuwah shall choose in one of your tribes. There you shall offer your ascending smoke offerings. There you shall do all that I command you. So that goes yet again to all the people. Oh, you can't do your own sacrifices. No, it says you shouldn't. Don't do that. Okay, 15. Notwithstanding, you may kill and eat flesh in all your gates. Whatsoever your soul lusts after, according to the blessing of Yahuwah Elohim, which he has given you. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the deer.
Okay, NIV says both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat it.
Okay, so there's...
So it's the people who can eat these.
Right.
If they're
So
unclean or clean, they can eat it.
I have literally had Christians said, look, right here. And I remember when first time the Christians ever said that, we looked at this, and we were interesting. Now, I'm going to take us over real quickly to a brother, emissary of Elohim, and let's see. This is what I was talking to him last night. He's a brother of ours. In other words, that which is slaughtered, that is not an offering to Yahuwah, may be slaughtered in the camp in a place other than ordained for offerings. The 17th chapter of Leviticus, sanctify of blood in mind. And that those people who were ceremonially unclean by way of contact with, well, what you have basically in need of a mikvah, before entering to offer or partake in an offering, may still eat of that which is not an offering, and you can dine with them. You just have to wash their chair and their cushion or whatever afterwards. This precept was one that they missed when they tried Yahushua about eating with tax collectors and such ilk. So to surmise, people that are unwashed, that have been made unclean by the way of uncleanness, may still eat deer or sheep or whatever with you, and don't have to starve out because they got yucked on or whatever. Definitely not to eat unclean things. The key word here is food. If something is mentioned as food, it is an automatic given that it is food. Unclean things are simply not considered food at all, period.
So when it says unclean and clean, it's unclean and clean people, not animals.
Right.
Well,
Right.
thanks, emissary of Elohim. That's
Yeah.
a good explanation.
Emissary Elohim rocks. That dude's right on it. All right. So here we go. So this was this is one of those things that if you saw this and you did not understand Deuteronomy 4:2, then we would be adding or 2 because this is new to us, right?
This is a very huge stumbling block for the Christians, like one of the bigger ones where they will bring it up. This is one of the ones they will always bring up saying, hey, here back says in your Torah we can eat the unclean food and the clean food.
Yeah, and that goes to that our Creator would be insane because he spent an entire chapter in Leviticus 11 defining exactly what it is, why it is, and how it is that we should eat these things, right? Don't eat the blood, don't eat the fat, kill it like this or do it like this, right? So it's very important that we do not add or take away from the Torah. 16. Only ye shall not eat the blood. Ye shall pour it upon the earth as water. Okay, that's very important, right? So there you go again. Nicole?
Yep.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. You may not eat within your gates the tithe of your grain, or of your wine, or of your oil, or of the firstlings of your herds, or of your flock, nor any of your vows which you vow, nor your free will offerings, or heave offering of your hand.
So this is a command, but we can't do this command because we don't have Levites. This is stuff we give to the Levites. It's
Right.
like this donations that we have set aside. It's like basically don't eat that stuff which you have set aside for them.
Yeah, this
and
is-
there is no Levites to give this to, so we can't really do this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of these we cannot do. We do not have Levitical stuff. All right, Levitical people. But you must eat them before Yahuwah Eloheka, in the place which Yahuwah Eloheka shall choose. You, and your son, and your daughter, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and Levi that is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before Yahuwah Eloheka in all that you put your hands unto. Okay, so the bottom of that it goes back to that one rejoice, right? Mm-hmm. And you shall rejoice before Yahuwah Eloheka. I think whatever was before that, I think that goes to that last command that we had prior to that we need to rejoice, yeah. And so it says, you shall rejoice before Yahuwah Eloheka in all that you put your hands unto. So that's everything, right? If you're out there cutting grass, if you guys are out there cleaning up cow poop, if you guys are out there, whatever, you're supposed to rejoice, right? It's not supposed to be something that messes with you. 19. Guard yourself that you forsake not the Levi as long as you live upon the earth.
It's too bad there's no Levi, but
Yeah, it's too late. But if we did, this would be the command to take care of them. Absolutely. When Yahuwah Eloheka shall enlarge your border as he has promised you, and you shall say, I will eat flesh, because your soul longs to eat flesh, you may eat flesh, whatever your soul lusts after. And so this would be, the Christians would take this and run.
mine says meat, and basically pig wasn't considered meat, shrimp wasn't considered meat, that wasn't considered food or meat.
Right, yeah. So we're like Emissary Elohim says, when we're talking about food, we're talking about the food of Leviticus 11. We're not talking about anything outside of that.
Nothing else is considered food.
But is this a command? When he has enlarged your border and has promised you, and you shall say, I will eat flesh, because your soul longs to eat flesh, you may eat flesh.
I don't think it's a command.
Whatever your soul lusts after. Well, you'll have people out there that say your meat is wrong. You shouldn't be eating meat, right? So this is the.
But it's not a command. It's just saying that if you wish to eat it, then you can eat it wherever.
You just get us to go ahead.
All right, 21. If the place which Yahuwah Eloheka has chosen to put his name there be too far from you, then you shall kill of your herd and of the flock which Yahuwah has given you, as I commanded you, and you shall eat in your gates whatsoever your soul lusts after. I don't know about this soul lusting after thing. This always sounds very evil.
Well, it says mine says what your being desires.
Right, okay. Even as the roebuck and the deer is eaten, so you shall eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike.
Not
Okay.
animals, but people.
Right. Again, that is it, right? You're talking about the unclean people and the clean, right? You're not supposed to starve out those who became ceremonially unclean. Very good. Thanks, Emissary of Elohim. Appreciate that. Only be sure that you eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and you may not eat the life with the flesh. Okay.
That goes under the blood command.
Yeah, we got that. There's a few of those. You got that, Nicole?
Yep.
You shall not eat it. You shall pour it upon the earth as water. Okay, so the blood.
That goes to it too.
That's interesting. Why? Because we have other commandments about we're not supposed to pour it on the ground, right? You're supposed to cover it with dust.
Pour it, but you can cover it. You have
We're
to
supposed to
cover it up.
cover it with dust.
Yep.
All right, so you got that as well. You
Yep.
shall not eat it. You shall pour it upon the earth as water.
Yep.
You shall not eat it, that it may go well with you, and with your children after you, when you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yahuwah. Only your things which you have, and your vows you shall take, and go unto the place which Yahuwah shall choose. And you shall offer your sending smoke offerings, and flesh, and the blood upon the altar of Yahuwah Eloheka, and the blood of your sacrifice shall be poured out upon the altar of Yahuwah Eloheka, and you shall eat the flesh. Guard and hear all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you, and with your children after you, when you do that which is good and right in the sight of Yahuwah Eloheka. So there we go. You had another command, right, Nicole?
Yep.
Yep.
Guard and hear. Guard and hear. Shema. Hear and obey. 29. When Yahuwah Eloheka shall cut off the nations from before you, whither you go to possess them, and to you succeed them, and dwell in their land, take heed to yourself that you be not snared by following them. Okay, so this is a command, right? This is for everybody. After that, they be destroyed from before you, and that you inquire not after their Elohim, saying, how did these nations serve their Elohim? Even so will I do likewise. Okay, what do we have here?
Basically, it says don't like worship as the pagans. You don't worship like the pagans.
Yeah, it falls into this. This is a command.
Wouldn't this be don't do as the nations?
Probably. Don't be snared by following them. That's what it's talking about. And it says you will. You're basically going to inquire after their Elohim, or what? Who is Baal? Why do you guys get on your knees to Baal and give your kids to Baal?
For time anyone bring a ball, you should start stoning people. That's what you should have done.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we have on that?
Don't do as the nations do.
Okay. 31. You shall not do so unto Yahuwah Eloheka, for every abomination to Yahuwah, which he hates, says abomination hates, have they done unto their Elohim, for even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their Elohim. What things soever I command you, guard to do it, you shall not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Now imagine this, if he would have gone in this thing and he said, okay, you can eat if your soul lusts for unclean food, go eat the unclean food. That's what your desire is. And it has a little piggy and everybody does it, right? But then at the end he says right here, you put this right, the last one, back to the Shema. Okay, so that's what it says over and over and over. It says guard, hear and obey, guard. All right, does anyone have anything?
No, nothing. Besides that, for those that say Yah is a violent Yah, he actually cares about his people, because he says, don't do as the pagans do. You need to preserve your sons and daughters and not throw them in the fire. So he cares about human life. He cares about people. So he's not as violent as everyone says. He was just trying to clear a better world.
Oh, he's extremely violent, but he has a good reason for his violence.
It's not senseless violence.
And if you have evil that is doing great violence, and the only way to stop the great violence begets violence.
It wasn't like unjust violence either. It wasn't just like, oh, kill a whole bunch of people for no reason. It was, these people were corrupted people.
Yeah, and their DNA was corrupted. It was going to
They
kill
were giants.
the bloodline. Yeah.
Their souls weren't like in the right place.
Only our Creator would know this and be able to see this and understand this. And if we don't understand it, we think he's just some bloodthirsty guy. That's on us, and we haven't figured it out, because he is a loving, kind, generous, beautiful Creator, and he cares about all of us. He cares about the number of hairs on your head, and he cares about everything. All right, everybody, thank you guys very, very much. Our digital family out there, I didn't say hi to you guys again, but let me say hi and goodbye, and that we love you guys very much. Big bear hug here. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and thank you for spending time on this channel. You guys make this channel everything, and we love you guys, and we will see you guys another day.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.